Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Magically Cruising, the cruise podcast where we share our personal cruise tips and reviews to help you make the most out of your next sailing. My name's Kieran. I'm an independent travel agent specializing in all things cruise, Disney, and North America, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I write over at Cruising with Kids, where we share tips and advice for cruising with and more without kids these days.
Fab, brilliant. And today, Sarah, where in the world are you cruising to? I love asking that question.
So we are on Allure of the Seas, and we are cruising it's like the standard Italy Med, but yeah, that's what we're doing this week.
And the reason why it's exciting is Allure of the Seas has recently had a very big investment, doesn't she? So Royal Caribbean have spent $100 million on what they call amplification. So they've amplified Allure of the Seas, and you're on technically the third sailing, isn't it? But the last two sailings were short sailings. So you're on the first full 7-night itinerary, aren't you, out of Barcelona on the newly amplified Allure of the Seas?
Yes, we are, and I think the way they do it, or the way they do a lot of these sailings, is it's Barcelona, Rome, Barcelona, Rome. So we're actually on the first one of those. So actually, we're not at full
Yep.
capacity at the moment, which is really nice. But then apparently it's going to get busy in Rome. But first full sailing, but there has been two before us, which Donna was on. So we've got lots of information from
Yes.
that as well.
I say you've been sharing lots of really fantastic kind of updates, haven't you? So I know because when Donna got on, the ship was still technically kind of finishing touches, wasn't she? So I saw some of Donna's videos when she was getting on. They were still kind of finishing putting down carpets, and paint was a little bit still drying as well, type of thing. So if the guys want to kind of see your updates, because it's doing incredibly well for you guys, and loads of people are really interested in seeing what's new to the ship, just plug that first at the beginning of the episode for a change of kind of where can the guys find your TikTok and Instagram content.
Yeah. So it's mainly on TikTok. We've got photos on Instagram, which is, I think it's Cruising with Kids. I lose track who we are where now. But on TikTok it's Sarah and Donna, and I think it's Cruising for All. But yeah, we're literally covering everything, even down to like what we're eating for brunch. And because everybody's asking so many questions, they want to see menus, they want to see different restaurant venues because there's new restaurants, new bars on. So we're sharing. I mean, I've actually got a mission today to find out if they're covering European football matches in Playmakers. Like, I've had some amazing
Really?
missions from our TikTok followers. I'd like to find out about the Eurovision Song Contest when they're on. But yeah, it's brilliant. And there's lots of
Yeah.
engagement over there, lots of people answering questions. So we're answering a lot of people's questions about Allure.
It's been good. I saw somebody was asking like the slide heights. They were saying like what are the heights of the slides? Because obviously they're new in there. The slides were added as part of the
Yeah.
amplification. So it's all new. And I'm guessing obviously they would be in line with other slides on Royal Caribbean, but it's the first time their Allure of the Seas has had kind of the full water park, and she's had the Ultimate Abyss added onto her. So I think
Yeah.
it's quite an exciting time for fans of Allure in general anyway, to kind of go on board and see a totally new amplified ship.
Yeah. I mean, Donna sailed on her just before. So when we got off the Oasis cruise in October, she got on Allure for 3 nights. We flew home, and so she's seen the big
Yes.
difference. Allure is a ship that we never got on. We booked Allure years ago, and that was the year that it was swapped for Wonder. Then the government changed the holidays, and we ended up on Odyssey. So we've tried to get on Allure before, but I'm glad we got on at this stage because it is if you love Oasis, it's very much like Oasis.
Well, let's do a bit of backtrack then, because as you've said then, so Allure of the Seas is an Oasis class ship. So she is
Yeah.
in that class of that was historically the world's largest ship sailing. So she's currently doing her Mediterranean season. So as you've said, she's doing kind of a bit of a split embarkation, disembarkation. So you can do a 7-night voyage, kind of the classic Med ports. So you can either join her in Barcelona or you can join her in Rome, basically. And she does the same loop pretty much all summer from around
Mhm.
about now, April, until I think it's around about October, I think the last one is, where she transitions them back to the Caribbean. And
Mhm.
typically, Royal Caribbean for the last couple of years, they've done that with a Oasis class ship. We've had an Oasis class ship kind of sailing that classic loop. So it's a really great opportunity for those who kind of are in the UK maybe, and you want to join her in Barcelona, where the flights are quite easy for us to get to. And I know Rome is really popular with Americans who want to kind of join. And there's really big turnaround airport in Rome for a lot of the Americans. I think that's why it's probably going to be a really popular port with a lot of American customers getting on in Rome. Not saying
Yeah.
Brits can't do it. It's a bit more expensive to do it that way because flights are a bit longer and the transfers are a bit more difficult. So flights are a bit hard to get to, whereas Barcelona is kind of, I think we've got multiple flights from Bristol alone type of thing, let alone their regional departures. So you've done this itinerary before, haven't you? Have you done a similar itinerary with Royal around the Med?
Quite a few times, but I have a philosophy of that every time we go to a new port, we do something different. And we've done stuff, I mean, already in Barcelona and Palma. You know, we've never been to Palma. Oh no, we have been to Palma, but we've done something different. So I just think with these cities, they're so big, there's so much to do that I know that years ago when the boys were little and Chris would say, "Oh, I don't want to do the same old." But now we've got such a different outlook because there is so much to
Yeah.
do. So it's not really a same old
No, no,
Paul.
no,
It's
no.
a explore something new every
Yeah.
time, Paul. And there's but so actually we see it through new eyes now.
And you're going there as well. Like, obviously, when you first started cruising, you're cruising with the kids, weren't you? That's why your blog is called Cruising with Kids. And now you're going as an adult couple as well.
That's
So
yeah.
obviously, you're getting to experience it in a different way because you're not having to think what can the kids do and
Mm,
what's going to buy their time, and you get to
yeah.
go do more adult friendly things. So you see it again, as you say, in a totally different way, don't you? When you're kind of doing it as an adult without kids. I don't have to think about kids when I cruise at all. I wouldn't know how to.
No. I mean, just Barcelona blew us away this time, you know, just I can't wait for all the other stops. There's just so many things I want to do, and it's just great to really explore, but also great to be getting back on somewhere like Allure, and it's such an incredible
Yeah.
base for exploring.
Well, let's briefly talk. So we talked before the episode about kind of how we're going to introduce this. So obviously, Royal Caribbean call it amplification, and amplification is kind of a major update, isn't it? So that's when they spend a lot of money on kind of renovating and updating ships. But typically, for people who don't know, in the cruise industry, every single ship every 2 to 5 years has to go through what is referred to as a dry dock. So that's when they basically physically lift the ship out of the water and they inspect the underhull. And the cruise lines use that as an opportunity to, at the very least, just touch up things. So do a bit of maintenance, fix the engines, overhaul them, that type of stuff. And they typically tend to be about a week in general. But sometimes what the cruise lines will do is usually around about the 10 to 15 year mark, they will do what is kind of cast as a renovation. Celebrity call them, what do they call these? They're not applications, they're revolutionizations, isn't it? Or
Oh,
revolutionization. I can never say it, but they call it like the
yeah, I
recently
think so. That's what Apex
revolutionized.
is going in for. Yeah.
So they will use that opportunity if they'll brand it that way, and it's kind of more than a dry dock, it's an enhancement. So they're gonna do something, either change up a venue or modernize the fleet, and
Mm.
that's what they've just done with Allure, haven't they? They've done a big amplification. She's had some really big updates because she was the only Oasis class ship, if I'm right, that hadn't gone through the amplification process of some sort in sailing type of thing. So she was the last
Yes.
Oasis class to have a big update. So, you said Donna went on before amplification and post amplification, said it was a big change. But does she feel fresh and new
Mm.
now?
Oh, amazing. I mean, when we sailed on Mariner and when we sailed on Oasis, they had both just come out of dry dock, and you could tell because I mean, it's not major enhancements, but there was, you know, everything was fresh and clean, or most
Yeah.
things were. You could see what carpets, there was work done. On here, um, apart from the cabins, I mean, our cabin's really fresh, and some people are saying theirs aren't. But apart from the cabins, which I think they've only done some,
Yep.
the ship is, I mean, they've added water slides, they've added
Yeah.
restaurants and bars. So it's like a new ship.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And even walking around doing our laps around deck 5 today, all of that's fresh.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I say it's big, and they've added new pools, new hot tubs. Like, it's not like, some of
yeah.
them will just change the venue. Like, I'm about to go on Majestic Princess, and they've done is a big change for Majestic. They've got rid of kind of all the bilingual Chinese because she was originally due to launch in China. But they've moved a couple of restaurants around, if you get what I mean. Like, one of the restaurants went from a Chinese specialty to being Sabatini's. Like, that is a big change. But this is on a
Mm.
whole other scale. This is almost as if she's a new ship because, oh, you're drinking? Very jealous.
Sorry, I'm on holiday. You
Say,
can't because you're working.
I'm enjoying my post Easter recovery from kind of going away for Easter, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on a ship and
This is my revenge for you drinking a bottle of fizz while we
yeah,
were doing the Virgin episode.
I'm looking forward to when it's acceptable to day drink. Not that it normally stops me, but so
Sorry, I
no,
just
it's fine.
free
So
you then.
what is your first impression, I guess? What's the one thing that you kind of walked on, you were like, oh wow, that's cool. That feels really brand new.
Pesky Parrot.
Oh
I mean, we've not
yes.
spent loads of times in there, but because they had the bamboo room on Mariner, which was new, and I loved the bamboo room. And it's very similar to that, but you've got this talking parrot. Now, somebody actually commented on our TikTok earlier and put, "Oh, I thought it was a real parrot." No, they've flown away.
Well, they did kind of allude to it. I think was it Utopia was the first ship to get Pesky Parrot. And they were alluding to like, oh, the parrot hasn't landed on the ship yet, or something like that. They were kind of teasing, and they didn't. We all
Yeah.
suspected it was going to be a animatronic robotic parrot, but they were leaving it vague enough to interpretation that they're like, no, there's going to be an actual, like they've got Rover on Icon. They were talking about there was going to be like a parrot who lived on the ship as well. So it wasn't until they installed the parrot that you realized it was a
That'd be
talking
cool, wouldn't
animatronic
it?
one. But it's a cool concept. It's a
Do you
tiki
know what
bar,
though?
isn't
It's
it?
brilliant. Yeah, it's a tiki bar. So it's not like Bamboo Lounge, because Bamboo Lounge is very green and got lots of greenery, but there's lots more bamboo furniture in this one. And it's really smart. It's got like a tiki, it's like got the masks and very colourful, amazing cocktails. You know, the staff are all really upbeat. And the parrot does talk, but Donna managed to get it, but I think Donna spent a lot of time, because I don't know if you've seen, she's done a TikTok of every single cocktail. So she must have spent more time than me
Yeah.
in there. But then we've been out on Playmakers because that's our favourite. But yeah, the parrot does, and but he says different things all the time. So I don't know whether it's depending on time of day.
Yeah.
So actually, if you sat there long enough, you could probably get his whole repertoire. But it's really good. It's clever.
Yeah.
And then you've got the mason jar, which we've not even been in.
Because just
Sorry,
jumping
go
back
on.
to Pesky Parrot, isn't that a replacement for the Bionic Bar, isn't it? So that's Bionic Bar has kind of gone
Yes.
out now, and Pesky Parrot's
Yes.
come in instead.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if they've gone back a bit. I don't know, because it seems a lot bigger, because the Bionic bar wasn't that big. So they must have taken space from somewhere. But it's a nice sized bar. It's never over busy. And it's got lots of different cocktails. But yeah, I mean, the Bionic bar, the first time we ever went in, I thought, oh, this is brilliant. But
Yep.
it was a waste of space,
It
because you got to
feels
drink in a
like it.
plastic cup, didn't you? So at first it was novel.
And I think when they first had Bionic Bar, it was a new concept, wasn't it? And nobody else was really doing robotic bars. And I think now they're in a lot of places. You can get the Bionic Bars on land now. They're in Vegas quite a lot. So I think I wouldn't say the novelties
Yeah.
wore off, but the novelties kind of wore off now on a Bionic Bar. As you say, the first time you see it, you're like, oh wow, this is cool. But then you realize that you're not being able to kind of get a drink made by an actual mixologist type of thing. So yeah, I loved it. I spent a lot of time there, but I do wonder if by day 4 or 5, I would be a bit like, let's just go to a bar, it'll be quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it's a piece of art, isn't it, to look at? And we've got some fabulous photos
Yeah.
and videos of the Bionic bar. It's not like that Rob Barman. I didn't go
The
to that.
MSC one.
And I'm sure Rob's fine.
Yeah.
But it's different, because that's a man, like a robot man,
Yeah.
where these are arms. And yeah, it looks great, but then you get it in a plastic cup. So on the last cruise on Oasis, we never went in there once. Because she's like, oh yeah. I mean, we went with the kids, we were there videoing it, and it was brilliant and fun. But this is just more fun. It's
Probably has more atmosphere, I'm guessing, as well, because it's a little bit more intimate. Is it got more atmosphere? And I think that's probably why Pesky Parrot's a bit more of a hit.
And it's just colourful, and it's a bar. You can sit at the bar. There's a barman you can talk to. I don't think you can take away from having a great barman.
Yeah.
No robot is going to replace a barman, are they?
No.
Because it's the barman that makes the bar.
Well, did you want to then, because you were talking about Mason Jar as well then, and it's a venue that I didn't get a chance to see when I was on board Wonder of the Seas, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Some people say that the food's a bit overpriced for kind of what it is. It's ultimately casual food, but I've heard other people say it's incredible and they love it, and the atmosphere up there's really cool, and it's got some great food and great music. So have you had a chance to go in there yet?
No.
Oh.
We haven't. So we've walked around and had a look and looked at the outside. We might nip up after this actually and have a drink in there. We've booked in for dinner. I think it's tomorrow night.
Okay.
We've booked in. We got the 3-night dining package, which we mostly always do. So I think it was £120 for 3. So then actually everything works out better value. So we've booked that, and they've got a country and western. Is it country and western? I don't know. Country singer band up there.
It's kind of a bit like New Orleans, isn't it? It's got kind of like that southern New Orleans type of mason jars in Creole style vibe. It's a bit of a mishmash venue, isn't it, really? But there's a lot of like barbecue, if I'm right, and a lot of New Orleans, Louisiana style
lots
food.
of like fried chicken. Like I'm quite limited what I can eat in there, being gluten free, but I think I can definitely have. There's like salads and that, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, it's got like a porch outside. It is beautiful. It's really lovely. So I'm really looking forward to going there. But we've just been out. Yesterday was day 2, wasn't it? And it was quite an important match for Chris. He wanted to watch Burnley play. Anyway, he sat behind me, so just to make him happy, they went up to the Premier League. So we decided that
Yay, I'm happy, whatever that means.
so while he streamed that, we had to be in a sports bar, obviously. So we went to Playmakers and we had dinner in Playmakers, which is my favourite bar, both of our favourite bar in Royal Caribbean. That's new as well. So we had dinner there, and had a few drinks while he was watching the football. So that took up quite a bit of time last night. And then we went to see the comedian. I mean, that I don't do comedy, but it was all right actually. They were funny.
Well, just jumping back to Playmakers, can you set the scene a little bit then? For those people maybe who haven't been on a royal ship before, but specifically like the Oasis class, can you explain to people kind of what Playmakers is like? We know it's a sports bar, we've talked about it before, but I think just more where it is on the ship and just the atmosphere on board, because I think people don't quite appreciate that it's not just a sports bar, it's in a really cool part of the ship, and it's a really lovely way to kind of sit and people watch. And do you want to just explain a little bit more about that?
It actually depends what ship you're on, because on Mariner, a lot of the older ships where they're putting them onto the boardwalk, the promenade. On the
Yep.
Odyssey, which is Quantum class, they're in the sports plaza over the bumper cars, but on Oasis,
Yeah.
they're on a boardwalk. So you're at the end of the boardwalk where you've got the
Yeah.
slides, which are brand new again on here. The Ultimate Abyss, which is a dry slide. So you're overlooking the boardwalk, which is all like I don't know, 1920s, 1930s America style. You've got
Yeah.
what have you got in there? You've got like pool table, you've got that one, the football one. What's that called?
Foosball table.
Yep, one of them. And then on most tables, you've got either Jenga or you've got Connect Four, which when I first saw it, I thought
Mm.
years ago, I thought, but actually, I mean, it's really fun when you've had a drink to play
I say
Connect
you've played
Four.
a lot of it, haven't you? Like every
Yeah.
time I see pictures of you there playing Jenga, sat in there having a couple of drinks or two, making me jealous.
But it's just fun. But yeah, so it's an amazing atmosphere bar. It's like a bit
Yeah.
American New York style almost, and the burgers are the best I've ever had in my life.
Really? Oh, I
And
really
ribs,
wanted to eat
and
there, but
wing.
we only had a couple of nights on board.
It's just brilliant. We're just every cruise we do, we have a casual playmakers night. It's just brilliant.
Because it's really cool as well. Isn't it? You could sit outside the venue on the boardwalk and kind of have that hustle
Yeah.
and bustle of people walking past you if you wanted to. But
Mhm.
it kind of opens up quite a lot as well, isn't it? Because you can go in and you can be around the bar counter. But I know from one release anyway, there's also another area you can sit down. So it's like more of a traditional, not traditional, but like a quieter area of the bar away from kind of the TV screens and all that type of stuff. You can still have the games on in the background away from you. So you've got different types of seating areas, haven't you, throughout it as well?
Yeah, I think there's screens in all the way around. There's screens everywhere. So that I think they were saying that they've got the license to have 4 different channels or something. So there's always
Okay.
American football on. There's Premier, if you're in the Premier League, there's a few Premier League matches on. Um, but they have a table. So there's that. So they have the sports on. But yeah, they're all around. But there's so many tellies. There's so many.
I think we sat on the boardwalk having a drink, if I'm right, outside. So we weren't actually in the sports bar. So I think that's the thing. If you're not a fan of
Fine.
watching sports, you don't have to. It's not like you're in a loud sports bar, is it? It is also a bar on the boardwalk. Technically, if you want to take the sports away from it. So as you say, if you're somebody who wants to maybe just kind of casually watch the sports in the background, or you've got somebody who does, it's not like you're sat in a really loud and you've got the football all around you all the time. If you don't want that, you can get that, but it's not that
No.
purely, is it?
Yeah, because I have no interest in sport at all, but I really like it. And I mean, on the Oasis, the first time we took Donna, she threw a right paddy. She was not going in there. She really didn't want to go. And it's her favourite bar now. She loves it. One of her favourite
Yeah.
bars. She
Yeah.
loves Playmakers. So I think it's the atmosphere. And the staff make it. They're great.
It's more of a family sports bar, I think, though, isn't it? I think if some people are thinking sports bar, they're thinking dark, dingy, badly lit, loud. It's a family-friendly sports bar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like cool. Yeah, it's great. And I mean, our kids love it. The boys love Playmakers, but I mean, when they were little, they loved it as well. It's because you can go and play pool, you can, play a game of Jenga or whatever, but you can just have a drink and it's just chilled out, and you can people watch, and that's why I love it, because you're watching everybody on the boardwalk and people coming down the slide, and it's brilliant.
And then what else is on the boardwalk thing? So obviously they've got the kind of the carousels. They've got the Victorian style carousel, which I think is really cool. I think people
Uh-huh.
don't know that there is a full feature, not full, a mini carousel, I would say, on the boardwalk as well. But what else can you find around the boardwalk area?
Yeah, so one thing I will add about the carousel, because we've had loads of questions on this, it's free.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Because quite a few people have asked how much is it. Yeah, it's free. And it's on, I mean, like today I think it's on from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. In Port Day it's just around 5 o'clock it starts. So it depends when you go out. But so that there's that. You've got the dog house, which I'm gutted because I just really want to go and just eat all the hot dogs and donuts, but I can't because it's like gluten central, but it smells
Yeah.
amazing. So they've got the dog house where people can just go and amazing for families. But you know what? There's always people there eating a hot dog. And then you've got sweet shops. There is a shop, like a gift shop type logo shop. And then you've got Johnny Rockets, which we are going to try for breakfast. I don't think there's much I can have. But it's free for breakfast. And then I think it's $12.95. I
Yeah.
think you can go for dinner and
Yep.
lunch. And the Johnny Rockets has been a franchise with Roll ever since we've cruised on them. I mean, when the kids were little, we always had a Johnny Rockets night. And it's really popular. It must be really popular still to
Yeah.
still be there. But I mean, they queue up in the morning to get there for breakfast.
I
And
bet.
then
Yeah,
at
I
the end,
love
you've got
Johnny
your ultimate.
Rockets.
And tonight we have got the Aqua show. So I'm really looking forward to that because it's Aqua Oasis 2. So it's the new
Did you see them
version.
rehearsing? What was the clip? Was that you? I can't keep up with who's filming, who's releasing what footage, but the Aqua
Oh,
show
no.
that was, is that Donna?
Yeah, so Donna has seen it.
Right.
So we're at 9 o'clock tonight. So I wonder if it'll be light or not. Because it was light on hers, wasn't it? Because obviously in the Caribbean it
It
was dark
was,
when we
yeah, because
saw
I
it.
wondered if it was like a rehearsal or something if that she watched it on. So I wondered if it was, because it seemed really early for her, but I guess, yeah, it's getting lighter and lighter now, isn't it? So
Yeah, it is lighter here in the Med, isn't it, at night? I'm trying to think what time we went in last night. I think it was light. So it's on at 9 o'clock tonight. So we're at the 9 o'clock sitting.
okay.
But they were rehearsing yesterday, and the music that is in it, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Is it an 80s then, did you say? Sorry, I think I cut you off. Is it
Yeah,
an 80s
yeah,
themed show?
yeah. So Oasis have Aqua 80s, and this is Aqua 80s too. But I think they've got some new stuff on here. So they've got trampolines. They don't have trampolines on. I can't remember trampolines on Oasis.
Okay, yeah, because that's the thing as well. That's worth pointing out to people as well. If they've never been on Royal, the in-house shows are different on each ship as well. So even though you're watching the Aqua show, when we in general broad strokes say the Aqua show is actually different on each ship as well. So they have their own version of it as well. Because I saw Hero on which ship was I on? Wonder of the Sea. Sorry.
Wonder.
So Hero
Yeah.
has a bit of an Asian kind of overview to it, type of thing. So a guy comes out on a giant floating drum, and it's huge and scared the life out of me as kind of it comes from behind you as well. So you just hear this loud bang, and it's just this guy flying over your head, banging this big, 2-arm drum type of thing as it floats over the whole of the Aqua Theatre. So there's a lot of that type of stuff, and they do the 360 acrobatics. I'm not sure if they've got that on your ship, but it's kind of the ring that somebody's decided they're spinning around in the air and shooting in different directions type of thing, as they're meant to be kind of doing the Asian martial arts from all the kind of classic
Right.
kung fu films, as they're doing that over your head as well. That was pretty cool to see. It's such an amazing spectacle. So even if you've been on an Oasis class ship, the shows are going to be different, aren't they? Depends on which ship you're on as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Mamma Mia on here, which I've booked. But Chris has pointed out that this morning is 2.5 hours long. But I've seen Mamma Mia loads of times. He was like, "You didn't tell me that."
Yeah.
But so it's the full version of Mamma Mia. So we've got Mamma Mia. There's another one that's called Blue Planet, I think, but we're not.
It's meant to be very good. I know someone who was in the production before, maybe. She may have been on Allure, actually. And everyone raves about it. It's meant to be a very good production, but that's a house production. So that is one of a Royal Caribbean original production show, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Donna did that and she really enjoyed it. But I just think because Chris isn't a massive theatre fan, it's like we try and have a balance. There's so much to do. I mean, because you've got quizzes and there's just stuff going on everywhere. Last night there was a street party. This afternoon there was some sort of parade on the promenade, but it was chaos. Like there was so many people waiting for it.
Really?
So we didn't stay, but they were building pirate ships as we left. So there was giant pirate ships. So, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if you've got kids with you, and we talk about this all the time about how well Royal do is, because everybody's so well channeled and there's stuff for everybody. Everybody's doing something different somewhere else, so you never feel crowded.
Yeah. Because that's one thing I wanted to touch upon is kind of pools as well. Because do you want to give the people an overview on kind of the pools on board? Because obviously, as you said, there's going to be Tykes pools, like kid baby pools. There's going to be pools that are maybe a bit more teeny, where you're going to have kind of like the tweens, Disney call them. So you're kind of 5 to maybe 11-year-olds but then you've got adult pools as well, haven't you? So there's a wide range of pools on board the ship. It's not just the main pool.
No, the pool space is phenomenal. So on when we got on, and even like about 4 o'clock on boarding day when everybody's on, and that's the day when it's all chaos. There was pools with
Yeah.
seats because there's so much pool space. So first of all, you've got like the kid and toddler pool, a little area for babies that aren't potty trained, and this is such an important thing because in our group, again and again, people will come in and say, "Book this cruise, and my baby can't go in the pool." You've got to do your research before and find the ships that have these areas for babies. My cousin's going on a Disney cruise this year, and they didn't know they were going to have a baby anyway. They did. It was like a big surprise, and I was like, "You're fine because they've got the Nemo's Reef. You've got you covered." So
Little splash pad,
yeah, so
yeah.
check. So there is a splash pad there with a little slide for the little ones. There's an amazing, and that's all new. But it's like what you've got in all the other Oasis class. So you've got the water slides for the little ones, as in like kiddies. Then you've got new slides. So you've got the Supercell. Is it Supercell? The free big poles. Yeah, so
I
Supercell.
never remember the name of the slides.
It's free, but the Supercell, I think, is the one with the bowl, I think. So there's the one with the bowl that you go around the bowl, and then you've got the two other ones that are the high speed slides. And then you've got three other pools. You've got a beach pool, which looks like it's a beach round. You've got a sports pool, and then there's two other pools at the back, and I don't know the
She hear
names.
me like you spoiled
Oh,
the
no, no, no,
choice.
no,
Like
no. There's one other pool at the back. So you've got three other pools. So there's three pools, one baby area, and then the slides. There's so much outdoor space. I mean, we sat up in the sun as we were sailing out at the Lime and Coconut. And again, there's different bars. So the great thing is because they're dotted around, you can follow the sun. And we sat at one of those, and nowhere was busy. Now I think we are on a quiet sailing, but because, and I found this on Oasis when we went across on Oasis, there's always somewhere to sit outside, which on Odyssey, getting a
absolutely.
seat outside, I found a bit of a challenge.
The quantum class, that's what worries me about her a little bit. I very much like sitting kind of overlooking the aft or sitting in a quiet bar away from everywhere. And I felt like from when I was on Anthem, not that she's a bad ship, she's got some incredible features. I'm not dismissing it, but for me personally, I love that sitting at a sunset bar type of vibe. And I felt that was lacking. Whereas when I went on Wonder, as you say, you've got the Boardwalk bar, but it's outdoors. So if you want that fresh air outdoor bar, you can do that lower
Well,
down. You've also got then Central Park, which we haven't touched upon yet, so maybe we can do that in a bit. But Central Park, you've got bars there that you can sit in that are still outside. You've also got the indoor bars as well on Royal Promenade. You've got the poolside bars. You've got the aft pool bars. You've got the solarium. And as you say, there's just a choice for everyone, whether you want somewhere shaded, whether you want somewhere direct sunlight and you're sat in the pool cooling down, whether you want a sports bar, loud bar, quiet bar. There's a bar for every type of person on board. And I think that's why it does such a great job of not feeling overwhelmed, because it's not like everyone's trying to get around the main pool, around the
yeah.
main bar. There's a bar for everyone.
Oh, it's brilliant. Honestly, I mean, today we sat on Central Park, and we got, I mean, our side there's no blue sky, but on the other side it's sunny today. But we sat in Central Park, we got a table in the sun. We sat there for a couple of hours. Had some lunch from the Central Park Café, which is just brilliant. Had the roast beef on today. So I had a roast beef salad.
Nice.
And then there's a bar, so people, we could go and get a glass of wine. And it was really chilled out there, where on the promenade it was a lot busier. Because families are on their pizza bar. And so, yeah, you've got all those options. And then the solarium, they've added a new bit. So they've added at the front of the ship an outside area.
Yeah, I saw they put quite a lot, haven't they, into the
Oh,
solarium. It's not just a refresh. There's whole new, I think the hot tubs are all new as well, aren't they?
well, because I don't know what was here before really, but I think they've it looks like they've got big round comfy
Yeah.
areas. But at the front, I mean, all those they did that big, thick, comfy beds all at the front of the ship. It was gorgeous. So I think we will find a spot on maybe Rome Day, because there's no point getting off this week to go to Rome. I don't think, with that.
No, we'll touch upon
Yeah.
Rome another time, but just on the solarium, just to point out to people as well. So that's the adult only. I say it's 16 and up now, isn't it? They've dropped the age ever so slightly, so it's not quite adults, but I believe it's
Did they not
16 and up, isn't
did
it,
they
to
not
do the
change it to
solarium?
18? Because I'm sure when we came on, yeah, I'm sure when we came on with the boys, it was 16. Because Joe could go in, but the boys didn't want to go in there. And I'm sure they've changed it to 18. But the difference with this one is there's on a lot of the ships, it's like more enclosed, but they've got open bits. And the benefit of the open bits is you've got air in there. You don't feel like you're at Centre Parks, which that's what I didn't like about the other ones.
Yeah, so you are right. Sorry, I've got it the wrong way around. It's gone from
Yes.
16 to 18 now. So it has moved to technically adult only. Obviously in America, you still can't drink if you're into 21. But in Europe, at least anyway, you can if you're over 18 type of thing. So
When I did my video yesterday, there was someone in there with a pram. They're clearly not 18.
well, it's only as adult only as the crew are willing to make it type of thing. You get it quite a lot whereby some people pop in. Disney was really bad for it. The kids were walking between the two elevator banks through the adult only area. So, and then some were stopping off to speak to their family. And as I say, it's who's going to police that type of thing, but it is technically an adult only area, and it's down to how grumpy you want to be to tell people off who shouldn't be in there.
Yeah. I mean, as a baby asleep, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I thought
Yeah.
someone's going to pull that up on the video, but they didn't. But yeah, so there is a video.
It's going to be in a Facebook group in a few hours' time.
Yeah, no one did pick it up, fortunately. But then I've got a video of that on TikTok if anyone's interested. But it is beautiful. The area is gorgeous.
Yeah, because this is, you were saying before I jump back, so it's an open air one, isn't it? So it's the one that has the glass wind protection overhead, but it has gaps between it, so you still get the air circulation. And like where Wonder is a complete bubble, so it's like Centre Parks ultimately is a dome.
Yeah, I think Oasis was like that as well, and definitely Odyssey was like that, and it just felt a bit sweaty in there. Because it's like that, so you've got open bits in between, and then as you go out on that front bit, I mean, it's like Chris said, you wouldn't go out there on a windy day, but it was glorious. But you have got a bit of glass, but it's just beautiful and big comfy beds. It's really chilled, so I think we will venture down there at some stage. There's so much to see. We don't want to do it all in a week.
I think me and Phil would probably live in this solarium, and I think that's what gives you the reason as well to go back and do a different Oasis ship, because there's slight variations on things. Even though they're adding like Pesky Parrot to the other ships, they do things a bit differently by ship as well. So like the entertainment, there are a few hidden bits of artwork and things like that as well, isn't it? So the ships, even though they're adding similar features, they still feel very different, don't they?
Yeah, it's weird because when we got on, Chris, because I said, it's just like Oasis, and I love Oasis, and Chris said, it just feels like the same ship, but then it also doesn't. So it's got its own personality.
Yeah. I think it's that thing, and you go to the brand, so you want to have your brand favorites. You want Schooner Bar, you want to kind of go on and have Playmakers, but they may do different artwork or different kind of layout of the bars type of thing, which they make a big difference to the atmosphere, because the different bar layout will just change how people flow around that bar. So it just feels a bit different, but it's still Playmakers at its heart as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think Donna prefers the ship to Oasis. I don't think I can choose, but they're both amazing. They're just, but she made because we've been messaging, and she's now booked Wonder off the back of this, where before we were both very much, we like the older, smaller ships. And I think has she booked Icon?
I was going to say she has. So I came back from Easter holidays and I had a phone call from Darren, and then literally I've walked into my emails today and I've had a flurry of onboard booking emails from them. And yeah, I think they've booked Icon, they booked Wonder, and I'm still going through some of the others because they booked a couple of placeholders and converted them. So I appreciate that. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, they've definitely, I think, booked Wonder and Icon,
because I was going to do,
from what I've been able to quickly glance through.
I was going to do the Icon, but it's Mexico, and I don't like Mexico. I didn't enjoy that Mexico sailing, so I think I like the other side. So we maybe won't do that one. But
I say.
But then we've got Harmony over here, haven't we? Next year, or is it year after?
Don't test me live on camera because I can't remember. But they're like, yes, I've written a whole blog about it, so I'll just say yes. Recheck. I know we've got Legend next year, which I'm really excited for. I'm booked on Legend next year.
In Europe?
Yes. So Legends of the Seas is doing a very short European season. She's doing 2 months in Europe when she launches.
Oh, I see.
So it's September, October. So I think you can do it, can you? Because you're already booked.
Is that this year?
October? I should know this again.
Oh, no, because we're doing
next year, 2026.
Because we're going to book Japan.
We're doing Legend of the Seas in October next year before she goes over to America. So she's launching in Europe, which is really exciting. So that's happening. As for the main ship, I believe you're right. I believe it's Harmony. I'm just trying to find my blog where Europe season. Right, here we go. I've written a whole blog on my website, so that's a good plug, actually. I'll link it in the description below this podcast when it goes out. But I do have a breakdown. Yes, you're right. It's Harmony is the Oasis class ship. So Harmony's doing the full season. So she's the equivalent of Allure next year, basically. So she's doing roughly around about late April, early May, right the way through to September, October time, doing very similar itineraries to what you're on. But Legends of the Seas is launching September off the top of my head, maybe very late August. I can't remember the exact date she launches. But she's going to be doing a very short European season before she does a transatlantic to the Caribbean and then spends her time in the Caribbean then as well from that point on. So myself and Phil, it's going to be our first official Royal Caribbean booking personally. So we're going to be on Legends of the Seas next October for a week, doing same itinerary you're doing basically. So she's just doing that same route. I think she even does the same Sunday to Sunday from Barcelona. Yeah, definitely. So Harmony is doing 2026. She's doing the equivalent of what Allure is doing this year. So she's going to be doing kind of roughly late April to kind of early October time, doing the same itinerary as you. And then Legends of the Seas is launching from Europe next year. So she's going to do a short season. I can't remember the exact date. I should know off the top of my head, but I know it's definitely September and October. She's doing a handful of sailings for 2 months.
Right, I was like, oh, I want to do that.
It is a tough one. The pricing isn't actually that bad because I know when Icon launched, she was quite expensive because she was obviously the new shiny thing. So she was quite high premium. Not saying that Legend is particularly cheap, but she's cheaper than when Icon went on sale, at least anyway. And obviously Star of the Seas launches, I believe, this year, isn't it? Star of the Seas starts sailing as well. So it's going to be our first Icon class sailing from Europe. I don't know, Royal having committed beyond that initial period. So I don't know if perhaps 2027 we could see a full season of an Icon class ship sailing in Europe. I know they want to, but I don't know if it'll be 2027 before when we see that a full season of it or not.
I was very much in small ship camp, but the more I go on the bigger ships, the more I love them. They're just, and we're not traveling with kids, so it's not overrun with kids. Because I was talking to one of my aunties who cruises a lot last week, and she said, "I'd just never go on, and there's too many kids." Now she's had her own kids; they've grown up, and I said, "You just don't. No, I just don't think you don't see. You do see them; they're there, but they're never a problem. They've got so much to do. They don't want to spend time with us."
I think it's that age-old thing of if you're going to go on a multi-generational ship that's purposely built for multi-generation, I'm talking the likes of Disney, Royal, Celebrity, MSC, because they have dedicated kids spaces. I'm talking more than just the kids clubs. They have kids pools, they have, kids play areas, they have climbing walls, they have all these activities for the kids. The kids are focused in those areas because there's so much for them. And then equally, you have the dedicated adult spaces like the more mature bars. I'm not saying that you won't find kids in them, but there's nothing for the kids to do in them. Whereas there is a bar that is a kid-friendly bar, if you get what I mean, where they're going to have the kids' activities. So as you say, Royal are really good at spreading everyone out. And the multi-generational cruise lines like Royal, Celebrity, MSC, Disney specialize in that style of cruising. Whereas if you're perhaps maybe on Princess, there isn't the kind of like as much spaces dedicated to the kids, like the splash pad, the climbing wall, surf simulators, all that type of stuff. So the kids kind of are around the main pool because that is the only pool. So I think that's the difference between how these two different styles of cruises, the more traditional cruise lines versus the multi-generational cruise lines, handle things.
And definitely, because when we got on, seems to be, and I suppose it makes sense because we're not in the holidays now, but there's a lot of teams. So I suppose if they're in between GCSEs, maybe you would take them out the week after restart. I don't know, but there seems to be a lot more teams, and there are younger kids. And like on the first day, there was like some kids sat in the corridor, and I thought, oh, they could end up being a bit of a pain. And I love kids. I love traveling with my teens. I'm happy to be around them. I think they're great. But do you know what? We've not seen any teens since because they obviously have got so much to do and that's the thing. When we were on P&O, it got to stage where the teens at night were running up and down the corridors, and we haven't seen any of that because they're occupied. They've got stuff to do.
So you've obviously taken up the dining package, which I think you do most cruises, don't you? So we've talked about it in the past, but obviously it gives you kind of the chance to do specialty dining on board. Have you done any of that yet? And what have you got planned then for the rest of the week?
So we've only been on 2 nights. So the first night we did the main dining room. It was busy, but it was fine. I mean, I could only have prawns for starter, which miffed me a bit. Everything else had gluten in. So I don't think I'm going to tell them tonight because I'm not. I'm only intolerant, so I could have some stuff, but they don't let me have anything because they're overcautious. Yeah, I had these prawns that they weren't great, but the steak was amazing. But the dining room's busy, but they've got it off to a T. I mean, we've been for brunch today. That was brilliant. Playmakers last night. We've got mason jar booked. We've got the Brazilian. I can't remember what it's called, but I think the lady that booked it said it's new, and that's in
Okay.
the Spa Cafe area.
Oh,
At
okay,
night,
yeah.
that turns into a Brazilian type restaurant. So we've got that booked, and we've got Central Park 150. So you've also got teppanyaki. You've also got chops, Giovanni's. There's loads. There's loads, but there's loads of free dining and speciality. There's food everywhere. There's
Yeah.
so much.
That's the big thing, isn't it? Like, I think a lot of people, if they've never cruised before, they worry that they have to pay a lot of money for food. And, we talk about specialty a lot, but that's a personal preference. I think we're fans of specialty dining. You don't have to do that, though, if you don't want to. You can totally
No,
eat incredibly well on the included options if you wanted to. So main dining room, breakfast, dinner, and lunch if you wanted to. But you can also go to the buffet as well. In the case of Royal, it's Windjammer, world cuisine available all day, every day type of things. There's loads of options there, but there are casual eatery places on board the ship as well, aren't there? So Cafe Promenade is usually a go-to one where you can get stuff. You've got, is it Sorrento's Pizza, isn't it? Is the pizza place on Royal? So you can
yep,
go get pizza
that's
by the slice if
always
you wanted.
busy, always busy. And then for us, Boardwalk Cafe, because that's a
Mm.
bit more chilled.
Yeah.
There's just food everywhere. I mean, we've not even stepped into the buffet, but I'm not a buffet fan. Neither of us are. But we had room service breakfast yesterday, which was really good, but we under ordered coffee. You have to order extra loads of coffee. But so yeah, there's food and drink everywhere. And that's the great thing about Royal Caribbean. But there's also healthy options. So today, the famous beef sandwiches on Central Park Cafe, and he literally has a joint of beef. It's pink, and you can have it with horseradish with gravy. They're amazing. But because I'm not eating bread, I thought, well, I'll have it with Caesar salad, and it was delicious. So that you could go. I built that and went in, said Caesar salad, went over, he put my beef on. They had big pots of melons. I mean, there was a stage where the melon. I mean, Chris said the other day, "You're obsessed with melon," but when the boys were little, you could just grab pot of melon, and for kids, that's brilliant because you don't want them eating sweets, you want them eating fruit. And then a couple of cruises ago, there wasn't much melon. It's back. The melon is back. It's everywhere. And
Really?
I think that's really, really good because it's just a healthy snack that's light. So yeah, I mean, I saw a girl come out of a shop today with a big giant packet of crisps on it. So there's just food everywhere.
It's the thing in there, like, when I first was cruising and I was kind of getting used to the all inclusive, so we're not typically an all inclusive couple. The novelty was there, and I was like eating everything, and I was grabbing things left, right, and center to the point that I was overindulging a little bit, and I was overlooking perhaps the more not healthier but the lighter options. And I know one cruise I'd done with Virgin, I went on my way to eat kind of more fish because I was eating a lot of like red meat all
Mm,
the time, and I was getting a bit bloated and a bit kind of meat sweats. So I was like, okay, the next voyage, I'm gonna maybe eat lighter bites. So eat some of the other fish options and not necessarily vegetarian, but just kind of scale back the red meat options. And you totally can. If you've got a particular lifestyle diet that you prefer to keep to, you can
mm,
totally do that on a cruise. It's not all chick. I thought my first cruise with Disney, I thought it was going to be nothing but chicken nuggets, burgers, and chips the entire time. And I was ready for that. I was down for it, but I was
yeah.
quite surprised like that when I walked past that American buffet area where it was mac and cheese and things like that. Comfort food, that's amazing. It was sushi, it was like carvery meats, it was salad bars and all
Mm.
that type of stuff. Like, it's a wealth of food available. It's not just all one type of cuisine, is it?
No, and I need to go up to the buffet actually, just take a photo with the cakes because the cakes are always amazing. But
Mm,
Donna and Darren don't eat a lot of meat, and I mean they went in Playmakers. They would go for the Impossible Burger, which is a
right.
vegetarian
Okay.
burger, and Darren says you cannot tell the difference.
No, I've not had
So
one.
yeah, there's lots of options.
Virgin do it, or they did on the original version of Razzle Dazzle. The burger was an Impossible Burger, and I never had it because I preferred the chicken wings. And I ate my weight in chicken wings every time I went on board. But other people said, like, yeah, if they didn't tell me it wasn't a meat burger, I wouldn't have known.
I should have tried it really, but then if you're having a burger, I want it to be beef. But yeah, I should have tried it the other day. But
It's still time.
well, but yeah, we're off in a minute. We're gonna maybe sample the mason jar and have a cocktail. Donna said there's a really good apple because she messaged me and said you have to have the apple pie. I thought she must be one of my best friends. I can't even remember I'm gluten free. So I
Yeah.
went back and said, excuse me, I can't eat that. But she said, no, it's a cocktail.
Cocktail.
It's a
Yeah.
cocktail. So I'm gonna go try that. Yeah.
Nice. You have to let me know what that's like. 'Cause I wonder what they put in it to give it that kind of like nutty taste. I wonder if it's going to be oh, what is it? The hazelnut stuff, the hazelnut liqueur. I can't remember the name of it now, but maybe because they sometimes put that in there
Liqueur.
to make it kind of that pie nutty flavor.
I had one in Bolero's just said, oh my God, it was amazing. But it had is it aromatics in? Oh, it was just so good. There's some really good cocktails. Good cocktails.
the bit I'm looking forward to is doing the cocktails. I'm gonna, me and Phil, we love our cocktails, and I think that's the reason why I think it's safer for
Mm.
us to have the drinks package because I don't trust us without one, to be honest. Knowing what we're like for cocktails, so I'm expecting a few hangovers ahead of us when we get on board next year.
Yeah. Well, Chris hasn't been in bed yet, so that's good. Um,
Is there anything else you want to share with the guys before we kind of wrap up? I guess obviously we're big fans of Royal Caribbean, both between us, but obviously you've sailed considerably more than I have. But would this put you off, or would you go out of your way to maybe look at doing a dry dock? You've done two now. Well, obviously one dry dock with some enhancements versus a full amplification. Oh, your third, is
yeah.
it?
No, this is
What
my
was the other one you did
third.
then?
Yeah, because Mariner, that
Oh,
was
yes.
dry, just come out of dry dock. No, I think I love it. I think you get on and everything's fresh. The staff are super excited because it's all new. I mean, we've followed some of the staff just like, I mean, they've been obsessed with the progress of the slide. So, and just following that and following their excitement for it and their excitement when you get on, it's amazing. It and if anything, it's going to make me book a bigger ship again
Yeah.
because they're just so they're like well-oiled wheels. It's clever the way they do it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I want to get back on board. So I'm counting down the days, but I've got two cruises before I get on Legend of the Seas next year, but it's counting down the days.
Well,
So is there any quick tip, I guess? Because obviously a lot of people, they are afraid of booking post dry dock, and you have to kind of go on board, I guess. I guess is what I'm trying to get to. If you do book post dry dock, be prepared that either things could be delayed or there may still be some work going on board. The ships do have a contingency 2-week period where there's some of the workmen stay on
mm,
board to do finishing touches. I know there's been some bad news with people with P&O. I know Azura, I believe it is, overran by 3 days. They've had to cancel the first post dry dock voyage, unfortunately.
you know,
There is a risk. You just have to be cautious. If you do book the first cruise post dry dock, that may happen, or there may still be some maintenance work or paintwork or finishing touches on that cruise type of thing. So that's the cautionary tale from me, I guess, as a travel agent. Just be aware of that possibility. But the benefit of it is you are going to be amongst the first to experience kind of a fresh ship, fresh coat of paint, fresh potential furnishings type of thing, new venues, new dining. And I think it's exciting that cruise lines do this because it keeps those ships fresh, if you get what I mean. You're feeling some older ships get a new lease of life. So I personally love a dry dock. I get very excited if I spot a
me.
dry dock on a ship's itinerary, and I think it's a great opportunity to do an old favorite in a new way.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like this one was, we were the third sailing, which felt less risky. Plus, I didn't want to do a short cruise. Um, the last two we were straight after. Um, but like you say, it's a risk if it goes over. But I'd say, if you're on the fence about booking the lure, I'd go for it because I can't think of anybody apart from, if you're a bit of a Grinch that doesn't like people and people having fun. And I know it's not for everybody to have cruises with families on, but if that's something you'd enjoy, then this ship is amazing and the crew are phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can't go wrong, can you? I think regardless of your age, family style, multi-generational groups, couples, parents with kids wanting to go away type of thing, I can't rate Royal Caribbean enough for. I think they do look after everyone incredibly well, regardless of kind of, the dynamic of your group on board. You're going to find a space, whether you want a quiet bar, quiet pool, loud pool, there's something for everyone. Because, you're going to have that main pool by Lime and Coconut where they're going to have the steel drum and the band's playing type of thing. So you're going to be by the poolside drinking cocktails with all that. But go a little bit further, you're going to find one. You're still going to have a bit of ambience, but it's still going to be a bit quieter, isn't it? So it's something for everyone on board.
It's put me on the fence because we're obviously booking Japan next year with the boys, but that's a quantum class. And I said to Chris today, I just think the boys should have come on this cruise, and I think they would love Oasis class ships where quantum's great, but it's not as good. It's just not as good.
Quantum is a funny one, though, because she's built for all weather. And I think they put a lot of different spaces on there, assuming she was going to go off. I know the Asian market was the target audience for it. So the weather can be hot and muggy, but it can also rain quite a lot as well. So they wanted to build a class of ship that has enough indoor space as well as outdoor space. Oasis is built that way as well. She's got a lot of indoor space. So some of the Oasis class, like Wonder, was built for the Asian market as well originally. And then down to COVID, that never happened. The plans changed, which is why her solarium is fully enclosed so that if the weather is bad, there is an indoor space that has a pool type of thing. So she's just bigger though, so that abundance of space gives more options type of thing. Whereas the Quantum class is a bit of an anomaly. I think Royal themselves admit that Quantum is a bit of an anomaly in their roadmap to where they got to between kind of the Explorer class through to kind of Icon class. I think there was a bit of they tried something it worked well for certain aspects. They've got some great features on the Quantum class, and there are other things that don't work on it type of thing. So I think it was a bit of a pathway to get to where they get to now.
Yeah. I mean, they're great ships, but these are better. The Oasis class is amazing.
I think so as well. Like I like what Anthem had, but I think I would prefer the Oasis class and definitely the Icon class. I'm already overexcited, but I think the Icon class is going to be my dream ship, I think. I know you've got a lot of information on your website. Obviously, you're updating your socials as you go in type of thing already, but you've got already a guide from when you were on Oasis, and I'm sure maybe, I don't know if you're going to have enough time, actually, if we get this episode out as soon as possible. I don't think you're going to have time to update this, but have you got stuff on your website already about Allure?
Yep. We did the Allure guide last week, didn't we?
Of course you did.
So Donna sent me the photos.
Yes, I shared it, didn't I?
Got that live. So we've done that. So we've got we'll link that in, and I'll link our TikTok in because there's loads on TikTok. There's literally, when we breathe, we're posting it. So we're sharing everything.
Fab, awesome. And then what is the website? Sorry, let the guys know. Sorry, what the website is.
So it's cruisingkids.co.uk, and the TikTok is Cruising for All, or Sarah and Donna Cruising for All.
Fab. And then equally, guys, if you are interested in booking Royal Caribbean either this summer from Europe, we've got lots of options, be it close to home as well, with Liberty of the Sea sailing from, not Liberty, is Independence this year, sorry. Independence sailing from Southampton, and then you've got Allure obviously sailing from Barcelona, and then you have Odyssey sailing kind of around the Med Greek Isles territory. She's kind of going a little bit all over the place, but focusing mainly the Greek Isle region. Or if you look in 2026, then, and that's where I was looking at my screen, Liberty is sailing then as well from the UK in 2026. And then we've got Harmony as well doing kind of the Med season, or Legend of the Seas. If you want to do an Icon class close to home, I would definitely love to help you do that. You can find me online under magical-traveler.com. Or all my social media is magical TRVLR if you kind of want to hunt me down as well and follow. Definitely, I'm going to be on Princess in about 2 months' time. So a bit of a time yet, but I'm going to be on Princess sharing kind of updates from Majestic of the Seas. Majestic of the Seas. We keep doing this, don't we?
We do. Everything's Royal Caribbean. There is no other brand.
So you've heard it here first. Royal Caribbean have bought Majestic Princess, and she's now Majestic of the Seas. I'm going to be on Majestic Princess, sorry, sharing updates of her kind of post her dry dock. It's not as big as the Allure Amplification, but she has had some big major changes kind of as she's moved from being a ship built for the Chinese market to move into the wider Princess fleet as well. So there's some quite exciting changes that I'm looking forward to seeing on board Majestic Princess as well. But yeah, other than that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.
Bye.